Hollywood, and admirers across the world are united in a moment of deep sorrow. The world has lost Diane Keaton, a woman who turned fragility into something radiant and gave silence and solitude a language that touched millions. Her death at 79 is not just the closing of a story. It leaves a tender, enduring void at the heart of cinema, as though time itself paused to honor her presence. Her family will hold a quiet farewell in California. No red carpets, no flashing bulbs, only love, stillness, and memory. Tributes have poured in from every corner of the globe, each one a reflection of her extraordinary influence. Among the countless messages, one stands apart, the words of Goldie Hawn, her longtime friend, co-star, and trusted companion. The two once shared unrestrained laughter in their youth, and now they share the weight of goodbye. Goldie's heartfelt tribute struck a universal chord, binding strangers together through shared grief. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video and share a message below. It's a small but meaningful way to honor a woman who shared her artistry, courage, and spirit with the world. Diane's journey didn't begin with applause. It started in observation and silence. Born January 5, 1946 in Los Angeles, she grew up beneath Hollywood's sunlit sky, a place that praised polished appearances while often concealing genuine emotion. Her father, Jack Hall, was a man of structure and discipline, showing love through order. Her mother, Dorothy Diane Keaton Hall, once wore the crown of Mrs. Los Angeles 1955, a woman with theatrical ambitions that eventually faded into family life. From the outside, the family appeared flawless. Behind closed doors, conversations about emotions were almost non-existent. We didn't talk about feelings, Diane later reflected. We lived inside them. At just 9 years old, Diane stood silently in a doorway watching her mother's light dim, applause replaced by the clatter of dishes. That moment etched itself into her memory. While other girls pictured picket fences, Diane dreamed of escape, of stories, stages, and lights that might finally see her for who she was. Her awakening came on a high school stage, performing as Blanche Dubois. She trembled, but this time the shaking came from honesty, not fear. That was the first time I felt seen, she would later recall. Acting wasn't just passion, it was survival. In 1966, at age 20, Diane boarded a Greyhound to New York City with one suitcase, 2 scripts, and unwavering determination. She shed Hall and embraced her mother's maiden name, Keaton, both as homage and rebellion. "Every time they say Miss Keaton, they're saying my mother's name," she once whispered. New York was relentless. She lived in a tiny Upper West Side apartment with peeling wallpaper, a noisy radiator, and icy drafts. Her mornings were spent at auditions that ended in rejection. Too tall, too odd, not the type. She waitressed through afternoons and sang for a few dollars in smoke-filled basements at night. When the power failed, she wrote by candlelight. When winter bit, she walked the streets to stay warm. "I stayed because I was afraid," she admitted years later. Fear became my engine. For 2 years, that fear drove her through hunger, isolation, and rejection. Then came 1968. A Broadway revival of Hair was seeking someone genuine, raw, and unpolished. Diane stepped in barefoot, nervous yet alive. "Don't change a thing," the director said. Under those bright lights, the silence she had carried cracked open. "I built myself out of fear," she later confessed. Fear became her backbone, hunger her fuel, rejection her teacher. Her ascent began with The Godfather, 1972. As Kay Adams, standing alongside Al Pacino's Michael Corleone, Diane delivered a quiet power and sincerity that audiences couldn't forget. Then came Annie Hall, 1977, a role that immortalized her. Her offbeat laugh, shy smile, and effortless turtlenecks weren't just costume choices. They were pieces of her authentic self. That night, holding her Oscar, she felt she had finally arrived. But alone later, she asked the empty kitchen, "Is this what it feels like to be seen?" Fame dazzled from a distance, but up close, it cut deep. Diane pushed herself endlessly, revising scripts late into the night, chasing a perfection that always seemed just beyond reach. "I thought success would make me whole," she later admitted. "Maybe it just gave me permission to be broken in public." In 1981, her performance in Reds demanded everything she had, and she gave it. Critics called her fearless. She felt hollow. By the mid-1980s, after The Little Drummer Girl, 1984, struggled, Diane quietly stepped back, not in defeat, but to protect her truth. In 1996, at the age of 50, Diane adopted her daughter, Dexter. 5 years later, her son Duke joined their family. "They saved me," she said. Her home filled with the warmth of everyday life. Burnt toast, handwritten mirror notes, cozy movie nights wrapped in blankets. She taught her children that family isn't defined by blood, but by love, choice, and showing up every single day. That same year, on the set of The First Wives Club, she met Goldie Hawn. Diane was thoughtful and deliberate. Goldie was radiant and impulsive. One chilly evening, Goldie draped her coat over Diane's shoulders and said softly, "You're always the strong one. Let someone else carry it for a while." From that moment, their bond became a refuge. They shared secrets between takes, laughed until tears fell, and held each other steady through life's storms. "Diane made me feel safe being human," Goldie said. At the memorial, clutching a single white rose, she whispered through tears, "She was the sister I never had. The silence she leaves behind is deafening." In her later years, after wildfires damaged her home, Diane relocated to Palm Springs, a place of wind, light, and tranquility. Each morning, barefoot and camera in hand, she captured what she called small miracles: a palm shadow, sunlight dancing in dust, a bird slicing across a blue sky. Her strength faded, but her creative fire never dimmed. Those unseen photographs became her final diary, a quiet, poetic farewell. When the news broke on October 11, 2025, the world paused. Tributes from Jane Fonda, Leonardo DiCaprio, Reese Witherspoon, and countless fans poured in. Outside her Los Angeles home, admirers laid lilies and hung her signature wide-brimmed hats along the gate. A handwritten note fluttered in the breeze, "You made me brave enough to be myself." Diane Keaton's legacy isn't measured by awards. It lives in those who grow older boldly, laugh freely, love imperfectly, and transform fear into strength. She didn't conquer Hollywood by blending in. She redefined it by daring to be completely herself. She turned aging into poetry, quiet moments into song, and heartbreak into something luminous. She once said, "Art is forgiving the world for breaking your heart." And she did just that. Time and again, as Hollywood dims its lights in tribute, her glow remains soft, warm, and eternal. Perhaps her laughter still drifts through the breezes of Palm Springs, delicate yet fierce, unforgettable. Rest well, Diane. You showed us that honesty is beautiful, vulnerability is strength, and certain lights never fade. They simply learn to shine in a different way.